All right, everybody, this is Nash here, and yes, yet another Jonathan Brooks video coming right at you. Now, there's a couple advanced statistics that I want to talk about that I don't believe I've mentioned, so we're going to mention them in this video. Now, we have talked about a couple of these things just a little bit, but there's some things that I have not gotten into on these topics. Now, I'm going to start talking about some more other things because there's plenty of things to talk about this Texas Longhorn football team, but today we're talking about the running backs, and we're talking about Jonathan Brooks. This is we got a bell cow back. This is one of the biggest pieces that Texas needed for this Texas Longhorn football team. Losing Bijan Robinson, losing Roschon Johnson. And with that being said, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below because it's about to get real spicy in here. I just mentioned Bijan Robinson, Roschon Johnson. Let's just turn it right up. Let's just turn the heat right on up to 100. I hope y'all are ready for that heat because it's here. That heat is here. So we're going to be looking at and comparing a couple statistics from Roschon Johnson and Bijan Robinson's year in 2022 to what Jonathan Brooks has done so far in 2023. Now, a big gripe that people have had in the past with Jonathan Brooks' statistics is, hey, it's all in garbage time. It's against nobodies. What are we talking about here? And you can kind of say the same thing with the exception of Alabama that has been against nobodies this year. But he's played meaningful snaps, and a lot of the rushes most of all the rushes have been in meaningful snap time. So, with that being said, let's compare the meaningful snaps right here. Yards after contact per attempt. Roschon Johnson, 4.28 yards per attempt after contact. Bijan Robinson, 4.17 in 2022. Those are good numbers. Jonathan Brooks not far behind, 4.06 yards after contact per attempt. That is, for example, a difference of him and Bijan Robinson on a 50 snap basis. We're talking about half a yard there, so it's he's right there with Bijan Robinson. Now, missed tackles forced per attempt. Again, there's actually a bigger gap from Roschon Johnson and Bijan Robinson down to Jonathan Brooks with sample size that might go down. But again, when you look at Jonathan Brooks as a bell cow back, if you look at his games, there's two different sides of the coin. There's the side where you've had him operating on limited carries, and his yards after contact are half or near half what it is when you give him bell cow carries. And this goes, if you heard my argument on, hey, why are we not, if you heard my argument of why we should be giving guys bell cow carries, this is another example why. The more carries you get, the better rhythm you feel, the more you're able to punish the defense because of it. Now, moving on to percent of 10-plus yard rushes over 10 yards or more. Not over 10 yards or more. Over 10 yards or more is a semantically null statement. But 15.9% Bijan Robinson, 15.9% of his rushes went for 10 yards or more. Roschon Johnson, 12.8% of his rushes. Jonathan Brooks so far in 2023, 12.3. To be that close to those dudes, hey, these are good statistics. We're basically getting what these statistics are telling y'all and telling me is, hey, y'all got another Jonathan Brooks, y'all got another Bijan Robinson, Roschon Johnson. And if you heard my hot take, hey, it's making my hot take maybe not so hot. But percent of rushes over 15 plus yards. Now, this one I think just really honestly goes to show how good Roschon Johnson was, and I think people overlooked what we had in Roschon Johnson. But 9.5% of his rushes went for 15 yards or more. 8.1 for Bijan, 6.1 for Jonathan Brooks. Now, that's probably the furthest as statistics actually start to separate from Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Brooks, from Roschon Johnson. But I'll take it. I will certainly take that. He's getting 10+ yard rushes. I don't care about if that's the difference between 5 more yards after 10 yards. Look, I'll take the 10 yards. I'll take it. Keep everything else. I'm fine. He's forcing missed tackles, and at a high level per attempt. Like that, here's the deal. When you look at those numbers, you might go, oh, well, what does that mean? Those numbers I just read to you for Bijan Robinson, Roschon Johnson, I do not have the other thing here, but I did I was trying to find out what statistics matter to me as a when you're looking at running backs. And basically what I've determined is by far the best statistics that you can ever look at for determining how good a running back is on a per attempt basis. That's very important, per attempt, and then also a decent sample size. Missed tackles forced, which Roschon Johnson and Bijan Robinson were at the top of they were at the top. And then yards after contact per attempt. Again, at the top. You know who else is up there? Jonathon Brooks. And actually, real quick, let me just try and find it real quick. All right, so I was unsuccessful in my journey. I couldn't find it. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. 192 yards after contact out of 270 total yards the last 2 games. Jonathon Brooks, 17 missed tackles forced. 6 of those rushes have been for 10-plus yards or more. So if you go and you look at, I believe I did this number the other day, but 18, 21 rushes. You look at how he had 6 rushes for 10 yards or more. He's running, over the last 2 games, he's running at 10 yards or more to 15.3 yards per attempt clip. Or not, no, 15.3% of his rushes are going for 10 yards or more, which is right below what Bijan Robinson did in 2021, or 2022. I mean, look, what we got in Jonathon Brooks, I understand that. I have to reiterate, I am not saying anything bad about Cedric Baxter. I'm not. He's a special running back. He's shown special things. But you got Jonathon Brooks on the roster right now, who's looking like statistically, the statistics that are being put out on the game, 4 games throughout the season, 2 games running the ball at a high level. And what I mean by at a high level, he's been running the ball at a high level, but to have that carry on with a higher workload. I talked about how you actually hear me all the time. If you listen to me, I say a higher sample size, those numbers are going to go down. In some of these cases, a higher sample size, you've seen the numbers go up. Yards after contact go up. Missed tackles forced go up. The more you feed him, the better he gets. Keep feeding Jonathon Brooks. Keep feeding Jonathon Brooks. When you combine this with the defense that we have, and I promise you, I promise you, there will be videos coming out this week on this defense. Because it is elite. Stop the battered fan syndrome. Stop the, I don't want to compare this to the teams that we hold in such high regard. Stop it. This is a different Texas team. You have not seen this Texas team in 10, 15 years. I can promise you that. I've been pounding the table about how this defense was ready to take a step to being an elite difference last year. I was all year last year saying that. Probably the only person. I think I felt like a damn nut job half the time when I'm sitting here saying, "Hey, watch out. We're this close to being an elite defense." Nobody else saying it. What do you see now? Run stopping, getting after the quarterback, bringing him down. I said that was the missing piece right there. Bringing the quarterback down was the last piece of the puzzle. Because the coverage that we were having. The problem with the coverage was, hey, you can't cover guys for 6 seconds or more and expect that to work. You got to bring the quarterback down. The rush is coming home, and we're bringing the quarterback down now. Back to Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks absolutely just toting the rock, tearing up the ground. Like I said, 71% of his rushes are after the contact. Or 71% of his yards in the last 2 games are after contact. 83%, I think, in the last game. 90 of 106 yards. 90 yards of the 106 came after the contact. After first contact. Jonathan Brooks is the real deal, and we need to start treating him as such. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. And stay tuned for the defense coming up. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. All right, everybody. Again, hope you all have a great day. And hook 'em.